Gamestork, delivering news, reviews, and playthroughs like a newborn baby.
Hey, what's up guys? This is Jeff with Gamestork, and today we're just kind of, I don't know, hang out, discuss some of the future of the Nintendo Switch, and answer this question. Does Nintendo Switch need Pokemon in order to have a successful year this year? As we know, the Nintendo Switch has already outsold the lifetime sales for the Wii U very, very quickly within this fiscal year, and the reality is you know, we're all asking the question, you know, what's going to happen in 2018? Is Nintendo going to be able to keep up this pace? Are they going to be able to, you know, rush through and do the same thing again and again and again, year after year? Now, going into this discussion and talking about this with you guys, the reality is if you look back to any other game platform, any of them, a system is only as good as its games. Now, there's gimmicks to every system. The Xbox One X is by far, I guess, the most powerful console on the market, and PS4 has its pluses here, there. I mean, they're just tricks, gimmicks, you name it. But the reality is a system is only as good as the games that are on that system. So in PS4, just got a giant boost in the arm, for instance, by Horizon Zero Dawn. You know, having this other game that only exists and only is on that console is a big deal. Nintendo did this. They had a firm understanding. One of the failures of the Wii U wasn't so much hardware, even though it was really slow. The menus were slow. It was still a very good system that had something good to offer. The failure was in the fact that they did not properly feed this console with games, with titles, IPs, content. But it looks like so far the Nintendo Switch is doing that. They're successfully gaining the assistance of the third party and the support and a lot. And also the massive sales right now, especially for indie games, and the higher sales on consoles, fast sales for things like Dragon Ball Xenoverse 2 and things like that, are a heavy indication of future support for the Nintendo Switch. But the specific question here is, can Nintendo continue to pump out first-party games in order to keep the momentum rolling? Well, let's look forward a little bit. We have Kirby coming out next month. We have Yoshi at some point this year. Bayonetta ports are coming. We suspect Super Smash Bros. May be coming with the release of the online functionality. And on top of that, you know, there are other ports that could possibly come. The Mario games from the Wii U, and let's face it, tons of other ones. But the question is, do they need Pokemon this year as a holiday system, you know, holiday release for the system in order to continue booming and meet the numbers that they expect to meet for the Nintendo Switch by the end of the fiscal year, which would be the following March? And the answer to that is yes. I honestly believe that they do. If you think about this, you need heavy hitters. This game launched with Breath of the Wild. You know, I mean, the console launched with Breath of the Wild, you know, for goodness sake. This was one that people were talking about having amazing experiences with, and just constantly, just obsessively talking, hundreds of hours apiece. Casual gamers were walking away from this game after completing it with 100 plus hours as a casual gamer, someone who just occasionally comes in. And the fact is, the portability of the console adds to that. But it's so awesome that it launched with such a very, very amazing game. And I know what you guys are thinking, well, it was on the Wii U too, but you know, not everybody owned the Wii U, and a lot more individuals are buying in on the concept of the Switch. And even now, they see that it is, you know, marketably as viable, and it's also as useful as it seems. You know, I have a laptop where I can play games on it, sure, but it's not as portable as the Switch. Is the reality. And if I'm going to choose to play a indie title or something that I could otherwise just play on the Switch, I'm going to do it. Because it is something that I could just easily carry with me. I can hold it here in front of my face, and I can play, and that's great. Why does the Switch need Pokemon? And this is something you may be asking. You might say, well, why do you think that it needs Pokemon? Why is this such a big deal? Well, the fact is this past year we had, you know, not only Breath of the Wild, we also had Super Mario Odyssey. We had Xenoblade Chronicles 2, so it was boom, boom, boom. Not to mention the other releases like ARMS, Splatoon 2, and it was just heavy hitter after heavy hitter after heavy hitter. And we need that this year. They need to continue on with that steady stream of releases, keep it going, even if it's not monthly, at least bi-monthly, once per 2 months, one big game, and maybe ports in the middle. But that Pokemon game is really going to drive sales, because if you look back at the sales numbers before, Mario Odyssey outsold Breath of the Wild even by a large margin. And that's because it is a system seller, and a lot of people, especially younger or old, it doesn't matter. I bought Mario Odyssey twice. Once for me and once for my son on his console. And the fact is it's one that everyone relates to. Everybody knows Mario. It's a franchise that's extremely popular, and it's going to sell consoles. So although we have things like Bayonetta coming and maybe Smash and things like that, Smash is one of their bigger IPs, so that could also work in their favor. But the 1-2 punch of the holiday season has to be Super Smash Bros. With the online functionality, paired with the holiday release of Pokemon, this new Pokemon game. If it's an online MMO, that's going to be fantastic. Whatever it is, it's going to be good. But the fact is, the branding of Pokemon is huge. People go insane, especially younger kids, go insane for Pokemon, and it's something that will sell the Nintendo Switch. I mean, let's face it, it's going to sell it. You put that side by side with any other game, and you're going to walk up, you're going to see people flooding to get this holiday season for people who don't have it, and that's just the reality of the situation. Pokemon is a console seller, and although you could arguably say that other first-party games sell well, the question is, are they console sellers? So I believe that Game Freak's being rushed to get this done, and I don't say rushed in a bad way, but I think that it's one of those things that they may have a very good idea, and they might be putting a lot of manpower into getting this game where it needs to be by the point where it needs to get, where it should be in time to be what it should be, and also release this holiday season. A lot of people are saying there's no way. I mean, there's no possible way that this is going to launch this year. But me personally, I think that it will. I honestly believe that this game, we will see this at E3, and they will announce that this will come this holiday season. Because, like I said, that 1-2 punch, boom, boom, has to have Pokemon in it. Not to mention, I really think that once the online functionality comes and the Nintendo Switch Online is launched later this year, that we are going to see another really big game, which is Dragon Quest, the online MMO, and also Dragon Quest 11. 10 is the online MMO, and 11. So I think that with those coming as well, we'll have that Xenoblade Chronicles 2-like game in the JRPG that hit big. Xenoblade Chronicles 2 was a huge success. Fantastic game. And as a matter of fact, I was just thinking yesterday about how I wish I could just wipe my memory of that so that I didn't remember playing. I could replay it because I enjoyed it that much. And it's one that I would really like to replay. So for the holiday season, that's 4 games that I think are really necessary, specifically October all the way to the end of the year. And I think Yoshi's going to come sometime around July, probably right after E3, maybe a month after. But after that, we definitely have to see those games. We need to see Smash come out in September with the Nintendo Switch Online, immediately followed by Dragon Quest 11 or 10, maybe, since it's an online MMO. Maybe that could also launch in September, and then have Pokemon and Dragon Quest 11. There it is. I thought about it. So, and this is one I think is absolutely, positively just necessary. So, it's one of those things to where I think they could have a successful year without it, but they're not going to sell 15 million units again unless they have that, because they can only go off the momentum of Mario and Breath of the Wild for so long. So let's hope that Nintendo goes into E3 this year swinging. I really believe that they will, and it's going to just be in a blink of an eye. We'll see E3, times flying by, as most of you guys probably know. These days are much faster than they used to be. And we'll see it eventually, and it's going to come. It's going to be put in front of us, and Nintendo's going to get that 1-2 punch. And I'm just going to say this before I end this video. I don't think Metroid's coming this year. We're going to see a lot of stuff. They're going to reveal that Bandai Namco is working on it. I really believe that. But as far as the game itself, we might see hints of it, but that's a 2019 release all day. It's not going to happen in 2018, which is even more reason to believe that Pokemon is the answer for the heavy hitter this year. And then having Metroid next year, perhaps with another Mario and or Zelda game that's created with the same assets of Breath of the Wild, which I think would be awesome. They need to pull a Majora's Mask there, but Either way, I think Nintendo's being very wise with this, and I think that they are going to continue the momentum, that they're going to reveal even more things to us, and they're going to lean a lot on third parties this year and third-party ports like Dark Souls in order to fill big gaps of games that people really want and really have never even imagined being able to play on the go. Anyway, so that's going to do it for this little discussion of, you know, does Nintendo need Pokemon and what are they going to do this year in order to stay successful? Answer ultimately is yes. I believe that they do. Let me know in the comments below how you feel about this. Do you think that they need Pokemon in order to continue to be successful? Also, like this video if you enjoy this content, and subscribe below for all things Nintendo Switch and all things Pokemon Switch, which will be in the near future. And we'll see you next time.